Hello, welcome to the Shantavia Chronicles, and I am your host, Miss Shantavia. Today we're going to talk about a lot of freaky stories and a lot of freaky stuff that in our regular life, like going to school, going to work, and hanging out with family members that have like a dark turn. You think that you're related to this person, you think this person is your friend, and they are connected to some evil, dark forces and dark work, and maybe even working stuff on you that you had not even imagined for selfish and crazy reasons. So yeah, we're gonna talk about dark forces from personal family members and friends that's in your life that you are not even privy to that can affect you. So I am personally going through some stuff like that. My mom has been dead forever, and I'm not sure that she was even alive. I heard weird stories about her. I heard weird stories, and people are just acting weird. Family members are acting weird with her and acting weird with me about, her origins and everything. And so I believe my born mother might be even a walking dead zombie, having kids, going to work and doing stuff, going to clubs and stuff, and she might not even be living. And so I'm gonna go through some stories today by my favorite content creator, Rebecca Journeys, and All Things Jenny. I had her listed in the other video. All Things Jenny, she has like a lot of videos on these stories that we probably need to take a look into, because there are a lot of crazy stuff going on out here that you need to be privy to. And like I knew that you had to protect yourself from family members, friends, and probably even your parents. So, or even your sisters and brothers that you need to protect yourself from, because there are people into some dark things, and it is what it is. So let's go into some stories right now about from Miss Jenny and Miss Rebecca's journey. And so, yes. Okay, these commercials. I'm not paying for YouTube. YouTube is free. Hello, guys. Welcome in. Thanks for coming in. So, yes, let's go to Miss Rebecca's journeys right now. Okay, let's see if I can get a better look at it. Hello, welcome in to the Shantavia Chronicles, and we're going to go through some stories of dead parents sitting up here having kids still, doing crazy freaky stuff. So let's go.
I got another Luger story. Are you
Luger
guys ready?
Woo.
This person submitted a story to me claiming they're a Luger. And she says she watches my content and laughs all the time. This is the story of how she was sent to destroy somebody's life.
Hey, Mona.
So basically, she says that somebody came to her in the spirit realm, so like via dream or whatever, or vision. The spirit told her, we need you to get rid of Miranda. And the Luga, who haven't done missions all her life, is like, okay, well, I guess this is just another one of them. She says as a Luga, who they feed off of other people's energy. However long you stay alive is however long they're sucking like the living life out of you, basically.
Sucking life out of people? What the hell? You need to suck the life out of me? Thanks for the hearts, you guys. Welcome, Mona. Welcome, everybody. Lugawoos. If you ever heard of a Lugawoo, please let me know in the comments if you ever heard of a Lugawoo.
Miranda is very much so a devoted Christian. However, she stepped on somebody's foot and they ordered her death. The Lugawu says she knew exactly what school that Miranda went to. So she would go and stand in front of that school every single day and basically stake out and watch Miranda. Until one day, the Lugawu's plan was ready. Unbeknownst to Miranda that she's being stalked and watched, this young beautiful girl approaches Miranda and compliments her and tells her how pretty she is. Miranda says thank you, and the two girls start chatting. Miranda asks the Lugawu if she went to the same school as her, and the Lugawu says no. She went to a school nearby. And if it isn't obvious enough, this Lugawu does not look like a Lugawu right now. It's in its physical human body. So Miranda would have no idea. So they would go on to have these random run-ins with each other. Miranda would leave school and walk and then run into the Lugawu. And this was pretty common, and they would even walk home together. One day, the Lugawu decides to give Miranda a pet cat. It was a black and white cat. So Miranda, not thinking anything of it, she was also a fan of animals. She took the cat and took the cat home. And the Lugawu says that what Miranda did not know was that it wasn't a real cat and that it was an enchanted spirit under a spell made to look like a cat. And this mischievous spirit would go on and bring so many downfalls into Miranda's life. And Miranda, never knowing why. Lugawu says after she gave Miranda the cat, she started to give her space, so she wouldn't run to her as often after school anymore. But once in a while, she would check in to see if is everything going to hell. And fair enough, when she would check in, both Amanda's health and life was just slowly and slowly degrading. She said the cat's entire purpose was to suck out Miranda's life energy. So the longer that the cat stayed there, the less likely Miranda's chances of survival were. So as Miranda's health is declining, the Lugawu wouldn't see her around school as much. A few months went by. Lugawu says she completely forgets about Miranda because at this point, like, she hasn't seen her in a long time, so she assumed that she's... Until one day, a few months later, the Lugawu wakes up and goes outside, and on her front door was the unalived cat that she gave to Miranda. She said it must have been 3 months after the fact, but the cat was returned to her doorsteps, unalived. And when that happened, she assumed that the jig was up. So she waited till it was nighttime when it was really, really dark outside, when obviously everybody would be asleep, including Miranda, because remember, she knows where Miranda lives. So what does she do? To complete the mission, that night, she flies over to Miranda's house, and she says every time she takes form, she takes the form of a bird, and a bird that has fire coming out of its tails. And she says the fire is the energy that pushes them. She says she deposited herself right on top of Miranda's house to, finish the job. But she said something felt different. Almost felt like there were no spirits in the house. So this Lugawu goes to look all the way around the property just to notice that Miranda and her entire family had moved out of that house. That night, she figured that Miranda moved out of town. And she said, wow, Miranda must have really been protected. Okay, guys, if you guys enjoyed this story, thank you for watching, obviously. And make sure you leave me a follow. We are 90,000 of you guys in. Oh, my God, 90,000 people. That's crazy. Thank you to each and every single last one.
Let me know, shoot, if you heard of a Lugawu or another.
Go onto my YouTube page. My YouTube name is Rebecca's Journey.
Yeah, that's Rebecca's Journey. We're going to watch a little more of her video that she made. Let me know in the comments if you heard of a Lugawu or any other type of draining entity things that people be shape-shifting into in regular life. That is crazy. So, yeah, thank you guys for coming in. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the hearts and everything, because I do need that. Yes.
If your kid wandered off,
another story for you guys. So I'm just hearing of this stuff. I never heard of this stuff before.
That women would actually go into the ocean and deliver their babies. When you're delivering,
if your kid wandered off, would they know where
oh
to
my
go?
gosh, come on now. These doggone commercials from YouTube.
This watch,
in a really big living. Hope that helps.
Okay, we're gonna watch another video from her. And let me know if you know of any other entity that your family member or friend could turn into and hunt her behind forever. Okay, let's go. Ooh.
Sorry, I'm back. I have a story submission from Ghana. So this girl says that she lives in a 2-story house. So the first floor and then the second floor. She says all the bedrooms are basically upstairs, and downstairs is basically where the kitchen is at and the living room and dining room. So most people would just sit downstairs and just watch TV on the couch because they have like a really big couch and a really big like living space to watch TV. Now we're gonna call the girl who submitted the story Kira. She says that she's had some occurrences in the house that were a little bit mysterious, but nothing this crazy. So she says one day she's upstairs chilling in her bedroom, minding her own business, when suddenly Kira hears her mother call out to her. So Kira answers from upstairs, asking her mother what she wants. Her mother replies and tells her that she needed her to go into her bedroom and bring her a shirt for her. Kira being like, okay, cool, whatever. She goes into her mother's bedroom, because remember, all the bedrooms are upstairs, grabs the shirt, and goes downstairs to bring it to her mother. However, when she gets downstairs, she doesn't see her mom. So naturally, she starts calling out for her mom. And as she's calling out for her, nobody's answering. That's strange because she hasn't even heard a door open or anything. So her mom still has to be in the house. She goes by the bathroom. No one's in the bathroom. No one's in the kitchen. And no one's in the living room. And she's downstairs holding her mother's shirt, looking around, trying to figure out where is her mother, who just called her and asked her to bring her this shirt downstairs just a few minutes ago. But she says at this point, she's starting to feel a little bit panicked, so she calls for her mother one more time. But this time, it's more of like a creeped out, like, Mom, type of call. And the last time that she says Mom, fair enough, her mother would answer. Her mother would say, yes, sweetie, I'm over here. So Kira turns around like, over where? She says she then hears somebody going up the steps. So she said, oh, it's clearly my mom. My mom is just playing a prank on me. So she screams out, she said, Mom, stop playing with me. And then she said she heard her mother say, I'm up here. I'm upstairs. So Kira's like, why are you upstairs when you just asked me to come down from upstairs and bring you a shirt downstairs? And as she's arguing with her mother at this point, she says she hears her front door unlock, opens, and in walks her actual mother.
What? What,
Kira
girl?
is startled, to say the least. I was just talking to you. Kira's just telling her mom, like, how are you? I was just, you were in the, I was just talking to you. Asked me to bring you a shirt. I bought you the shirt and you winded up upstairs. Like, why are you at the front door? How? And her mother said, I don't know who you were talking to, child, but it definitely wasn't me. I just got in for the day. And Kira said that she wishes that that was actually the last time that something like that happened in the house. Spooky. Well, thank you so much for submitting that story. If you're new here and you don't know my face right now, I tell spooky stories on my page. Mermaid stories.
Yep, all that jazz. So let me know if you had spooky stuff happen in your house, in your car, and that you can't explain. You be like, what the hell? Especially dealing with your parents. You know, a dead parent, are they coming to you? Are they hunting you? Or it's a spirit that's pretending to be a dead parent hunting you or something like that. And so that's why I'm doing this video. I might have that happen to me because my parent has been dead since I was 7. So, and a lot of freaky stuff been happening to me since then. So let me know in the comments if you're experiencing anything like that from a parent that's alleged to be a parent, or a dead parent coming to you, or a spirit pretending to be the parent. So we have another spooky story from her. So let's see. Yes. It's YouTube. Come on, y'all have a lot of freaking money. Stop tripping. All these doggone commercials. La 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 la. Okay.
It's clean. No utensils.
Okay. All right. Another spooky story for you guys. Yes, dead loved ones, following, harassing. So let's go. Jealousy, killing parents and what have you with voodoo and all that crazy stuff. Have that happened to you? A family member doing witchcraft on you because of jealousy. Sisters turning on each other. husband and wife turning on each other. So Rebecca, she's from Haiti, but she's in New Jersey, and that's a lot of the stories she talk about. And so I believe that's a hex, and I think my mom was into some weird crap, and she's dead, and weird crap is happening to me because she was in weird crap. So that's why I'm doing this video, to let you guys know that stuff like that happens. You don't even have to be a witch or into any crazy shit, but your parents were, and so it transfers and it goes on to you, and you have to, I guess, pick up where your parents left off with the cleansing and all that stuff. And I'm like, I ain't even do nothing. Why is this happening to me? But it is what it is. So let's go into some stories, real stories about that. Yes. Oh shit, sorry, I went too far back. Thanks for the hearts.
It's all on my YouTube, so you better go check it out.
Yeah.
And if you're not following me on Instagram, then clearly you don't with me the way I think you do. So prove me wrong by following me on Instagram. I love you, abducted humans, and I will be back with another spooky story tomorrow.
Okay, here she go.
Ask and you shall receive. Do you believe in voodoo and dark magic? Maybe you might change your mind after this true story. Story time. We're gonna call the person who submitted the story Julie, because I don't know if she wants to remain anonymous or not. So Julie says growing up, she wasn't really involved in anything involving voodoo. She has been more focused on church and her relationship with God. This is due to her grandmother, her mom's mother, being a very firm believer of God. Julie says she cannot emphasize how much her grandmother has held this family together through prayer. Get comfortable, because in order for this story to make sense, I have to take you guys back. So Julie's mother and father met through mutual friends. Eventually, they started to date and planned to get married. And this is when they had Julie. The pregnancy was hard for her mother, especially with the mistreatment that she was getting from Carol. Carol being the father's sister. Julie's mother never went into details about the abuse that she endured, but she told her little minor details about it. For example, when Carol would have guests over, they would drink, and her heavily pregnant mother would often be left to clean up huge clusters of bottles. Like, how you got a pregnant woman cleaning up after you?
Exactly.
So after Julie was born, her mom and her dad's relationship did not last. And unfortunately, they went their separate ways. Julie went with her mom, and she ended up drifting from her father as if he was a stranger. So as stated before, Julie's relationship with God started as a child. Her relationship with God helped her a lot since she grew up with a lot of health issues. Julie and her mother would take frequent trips to the hospital, to the point where their own homes became like a mini clinic. They had so many antibiotics and prescriptions that had been given to her. And this girl is talking asthma, ulcers, an ear problem. She had to get surgery. They told her without the surgery, it can travel from one ear to the other, which would cause her to go deaf. And so much more that she can't even list. For example, one time she got sick and her grandmother took her to a new church. And the crazy thing is, the pastor mentioned Carol's name. This is a new church. They've never been there before. There's no way this pastor would have known about Carol. How would he know about Julie's father's sister? Nonetheless, this pastor told her that Carol, the dad's sister, was doing voodoo on Julie, and that she had a picture of Julie from when she was young.
Wow.
So Julie said that as good Christians, they prayed and put this issue behind them. Julie gets sick again. They go to a new church, and the same thing happened. Once again, they prayed and put the issue behind them. So this had happened when she was about 9 or 10. Because of this, in the back of her mind, she knew she had to be cautious of this lady. Later, Julie came to find out that her father inherited a piece of land that will most likely be passed down to Julie. And as you would assume, Carol, the father's sister, is not happy about this.
Yep.
Julie is not going to get that land. Not if Carol can help it. Carol was working every angle to make sure that Julie does not get that land, because Julie found out that Carol, who had 2 children, a boy and a girl, had sent her older son to go live with Julie's father on that land. A strategy to get them closer, marking her territory. Now, when Julie gets to grade 6, she kept getting ill. This was strange because it was happening back to back. After 2 weeks, she'd get sick, go to the hospital, get treated again, and repeat. So they prayed a lot during this time, and her grandmother would call her and even pray on the phone with her occasionally. And this continued to happen until the end of the year. Julie started getting better and she can continue to go back to school. A few weeks later, Julie's mother finds out that Carol's son had tragically passed away. He had gotten sick and suddenly passed away. Julie believes that with prayer and great faith, whatever had been planned was reversed and heavily backfired. Wow. Thank you so much for submitting this story.
Amen.
I'm so glad that you're okay now. If you want credit for your story and you are seeing this, go ahead and leave a comment. If you are into the dark and mysterious and you are now seeing my face, if you want more of these long, spooky darks,
Yeah, that is crazy. Your own family members, what is that? Your father's sister, your aunt is doing evil stuff with you and don't want you around the family so she could steal money, steal land. How can you be jealous of your own brother's daughter? That is crazy. But people are, and people will go even into dark magic to still kill and destroy their own family members. That was her freaking niece. What in the world? Making her sick, making her ill, doing all kinds of dark magic on her to get rid of her and to steal it from her brother. And so he tried to steal and kill her niece to steal stuff from her brother. But it is what it is, and so that's why I'm doing this video, to let you guys know it's out there. And so we're gonna watch some other video. Even in school, college, you're paying for it. You could get involved with some dark magic people there. And so let's go.
I remember when I told the story about that guy who had like 27 ghosts inside of him? I just got a story from a lady who was possessed by 179 spirits. Don't know if you want to watch this one at night, but spooky story time. The person who submitted the story, will call her Scorpio. So Scorpio said that her aunt was in a relationship with this man, but the man's mother didn't like her, so she kept making things very difficult for her. Her aunt always wanted a baby. However, due to complications as a child, back when she was 17, one of her ovaries had to be taken out. It was really difficult for her during that year to bear a child, and she had a miscarriage, unfortunately. And after the miscarriage, the aunt started to feel like maybe somebody's working obia on her. So she went to a spiritual mother for a bath, hoping to cleanse herself. But things just got worse. So a few weeks after the bath, during the night, she went into her grandmother's house. Her grandmother thought she was behaving kind of strange, so her grandmother asked her to take a bath, and Auntie refused. But then a few minutes later, she winded up going to take the bath. Then her grandmother asked her to eat. She refused. Scorpio says her other aunt, who at the time was a minor, was also staying at the grandmother's house. Scorpio says that the following day, her youngest aunt was woken up by her grandmother and her other aunt screaming. So the youngest aunt went into the grandmother's room and saw her sister pulling her mother's hair. So the older aunt attacking Scorpio's grandmother. And as she's pulling the grandmother's hair, she is screaming at her. She's telling her, "Say I love Judah." She's like forcing her as she's physically attacking her. "Say I love Judah." And out of fear, her grandmother would just say it, "I love Judah, I love Judah." And after the aunt got the answer she was looking for, she let her grandmother go. So grandmother turns to the younger aunt and tell her to go fill up some water. But for whatever reason, the older aunt did not like that idea. So while the youngest aunt is by the tank filling up the water, from the back, her sister ran up on her and attacked her. And fair enough, started screaming the same thing, "Say I love Judah." But the younger aunt couldn't say anything because she was being choked aggressively. The youngest aunt said that she tried to say it. It's just that she could not breathe. So while she's being attacked and choked, she's like kicking and like trying to punch, but she can't get a word out. She said at the time she was just a child, and it was so scary because her sister, who was on top of her attacking her, says that her voice sounded a little bit deeper than usual. A lot deeper than usual. It actually didn't sound like her sister's voice at all. It sounded like it was more than one voices talking at the same time. A lot of men tried to pull the older aunt off of the younger aunt, but nobody was able to get that girl off of her, except for this well-respected, known spiritual man. He lived in the village and he was well into his years. After he pulled her off, grandmother had to perform CPR on the younger aunt and rushed her to the hospital. where she suffered minor injuries. She had an injury to her throat, skin on her throat as well was bruised, and pieces of skin on her nose was bitten off.
Wow.
They caught the older aunt and sent her to a psychiatric ward. However, the grandmother knew that this was not an actual mental health problem. So the grandmother reached out to a spiritual mother that she knew and trusted and asked for help. And this spiritual mother was one of the Orisha faith. After her aunt showed signs of recovery, which was about a month after the whole incident happened, she was then taken to the spiritual mother for a bath. Obviously, her aunt, the one that was attacked, was very uncomfortable there, and immediately after the bath, she dipped. Her grandmother was a bit worried. However, the spiritual mother told her not to worry because the spirits would take care of whatever was going on with the aunt. And she mentioned to the grandmother that her aunt had a legion of 179 spirits inside of her. And that lesion didn't go away easily either. It was very visible whenever they were present. Her stomach would swell as if she was 3 to 4 months pregnant. But eventually,
1,000?
all 179 of them.
100. What the freaking hell? 100? I'm scared about one spirit, but 100 spirits in one person? What the hell is going on in this place? And how in the hell did God let this happen? How the hell God let this woman be hunted by 175 spirits? What in the hell is going on in this place? But yeah, so the living dead is not like the zombie half dead looking people. They can look regular like us and do go weird at night and stuff. That was the first story. And then we have the girl that was some type of spirit that was cursed or something. So she had to kill people or hunt their energy, some type of Luger. So yeah, put in the comments section if you know what the hell a Luger is and how the hell can you stop them / destroy them without, going to jail? Because this thing is attacking you. You should be able to destroy it in peace. So what the hell? And then the girl, again, with 100 spirits. How in the hell do you live a regular life with 175 spirits? What in the 175? So, yes, that is Rebecca's journey. And these are true life stories that she pulled out here. And that's why I'm sharing with you guys. So, yes, thanks for coming in. I have one more story because my mother is dead. I told you at the beginning of the video. And it was always weird with the family with her. Yeah, so I'm like, maybe she was dead, because I don't know. It's too weird. And maybe my family was in some dark stuff that I have to get protected from me. But I'm like, that's not fair. I mean, I ain't do no dark magic. Why the hell I have to do a whole bunch of cleansing crap? So, yes. But thank you for coming in. Please like, and share before you leave. And let's get into the last story by Miss Rebecca. Where did she go? Rebecca Journey. That's her right there on her page. So please like and subscribe to her. And let's get into our last story about weird mothers. So yeah, one more thing. We talked about weird mothers, weird parents, jealous friends, and weird stuff happening. So that's what this is about. Family members doing weird stuff. But yeah, but like for Mona, yeah, I don't play with none of that stuff. I don't call on different, what they call entities or whatever. The what you call it? They talking about the folklores. I don't call on those people. I watch scary movies, but I don't like dabble into like scary movie stuff. Try to play with the stuff they show me. I never touch the Ouija board. I don't play those games. I don't go looking for vampires or goblins and goons or what you call those things, fairies. I don't ever go outside like that, especially into nature. I don't even play with stuff like that. So I don't know what the hell is going on that I'm being like stalked and harassed by entities or whatever. Now I'm trying to get my money from Disney Studios. So, but yeah, that's what they were telling me. My mom was in some dark shit. So let's go. Free Diddy. The verdict is coming up. So free Diddy free Diddy. So back into my story.
With another spooky story. And you definitely do not want to watch this one at night. What would you do if you found out that your mother that you know and love, that you lived with all your life, is actually a zombie? We're gonna call the person who submitted the story Miss. So Miss has a friend who was born in Benin. Benin? And Mrs. Friend used to stay with her mom over in Benin. So when Mrs. Friend turns 18 years old, her mother tells her that her family is actually from Ghana. And she tells her that she wants to take her to Ghana. So they get on a bus and they go to Kumasi, a city in the Ashanti region. So as they're on the bus, the girl's mother is instructing her about what to do. So the mom is telling her that she's actually not coming with her. She's just taking the bus and taking her there. That once she arrives, a woman is going to come out of a car. She described the woman to her and told her that the woman out of the car is her auntie and that she should go with her. Again, she's not stopping with her daughter. She's just dropping her off, telling her, go with this woman who's your auntie, and I'll catch up with y'all later. Because it's been a while since the mom has been back home, she gave her daughter a picture of herself to give to her aunt when she sees the aunt so that it can all make sense. Because again, the daughter never left Benin, so she doesn't know about her family in Ghana. So her mom's telling her this auntie's gonna come pick her up out of this car. She looks like this. Here's a picture of me. Be sure to give it to her. I'll come join y'all later. And she's like, okay, cool, makes sense. So eventually, daughter gets off the bus and she peeps the woman that her mother was talking about. So she approaches her. She told her everything her mom told her to tell the woman. And this woman starts bawling. She is hysterically crying. The woman slash her auntie took the girl and brought her back to the Ashanti region to the family house. So when she got there, the family members called her for a meeting and started interrogating her about her mother. Started asking her real serious questions about her mom. And she told them everything. She told them that she has been living with her mom since childhood and she doesn't know her father. So after the interrogation, everyone decided to tell her. They told her that her mother was dead and has been dead for 16 years. There was a funeral, a burial, and everything. She is not alive.
What?
But the daughter, the girl, she was 18 years old. So then the girl had to have been born before she passed. So they don't know whether that is her mom or not. I mean, she's showing them pictures of the mom. She's relaying the exact messages that her mom told her to relay, which would be things that only the dead woman would know. So they came to the conclusion, because of everything the girl knows and because of the picture, that her mother was a dead woman. Therefore, the family just simply cannot accept her. Her mom died so many years ago, 16 years ago. Somehow winded up in Benin, living this whole new life without ever mentioning important details from her past, like, I don't know, her dying. So Miss, the person who submitted the story, said, in their Ghanaian culture, they assume the dead cannot eat pepper. So the family members is asking her, like, have you ever seen your mother eat peppers? It's like, I've seen her eat vegetables that taste like peppers, but no, she never ate peppers. And that was the end of the story that Miss submitted. Since that's all she submitted, she didn't tell me whether daughter went back to her mother or not, or what happened after that. I don't know. We're gonna assume since the family didn't accept her that she had to at least come back home. I don't know what happened from there. Thank you for submitting, and thank you for listening. So put that on a t-shirt. I love you, my abducted human. If you haven't already, make sure you're following me on TikTok. I'm so close to 5,000 followers on Instagram. Make it happen for me for spooky season. I don't know. Just so that I know that it's real. I love you, my abducted humans. I believe we're going to South Africa next time. So submit your stories.
Here's the money glitch that's
come
getting
on,
more
these
improperly
commercials.
compensated. Uber made a big mistake. Allegedly.
So submit your stories.
Yes.
Really? From your favorite Haitian homegirl. I'm back with another spooky story. So what happened to the girl with the zombie mother? You don't know what I'm talking about? Click on this comment. This is the update. So after the girl met her auntie and they took her back to the family's house in the village, and the family was interrogating her, asking her all types of questions about her mother. The daughter is 18 years old and the family members are telling her that her mother died 16 years ago. So with gathering information, they figure that they're talking about the same person. But it's kind of hard for the family to accept this girl because literally your mother literally did die. And to prove it, some of the family members actually took her to where part of her mother's body was buried. Her mom was buried in Benin, and part of her was brought to Ghana to bury. And they did it that way because that's just a part of their culture. So basically, the family took her to where her mother was buried and showed her everything like, yeah, she's a dead woman, she's gone. They all come back home and everybody's just confused. So a different day, the daughter decided that she wanted to go back to her mother's burial grounds because the last time all her family was with her, hovering over her, so she wanted this experience by herself this time. So she went there alone and she's sitting there by the grave crying. She is hysterical. She's crying, like confused, asking herself questions like, why me? Did I really live with a zombie for 18 years? So she gets up and leaves the burial site. And on her way back to the family house, guess who she ran into? So on her way back to the family house, she sees this person approaching her on the road. And when she looks closer, she could see that it's her deceased mother walking towards her. And at that moment, they met, and her deceased mother warned her about something scarier than her actually seeing a dead woman. Her mother told her that no matter what she does, never to go back to Brennan. And her mother also confirmed the mystery by saying, in case you're wondering, I did die. So basically, she went back to the family's house, told them that she saw her deceased mother yet again, and basically she was accused of being a witch by the family member. They also were not believing her when she was denying being a witch, so she literally had no choice but to leave the family's house. She can't go back to Benin, and she cannot stay at her family's house. So she wound up going to a town about 1,500 kilometers away from the family house. She's thinking at this point she Gucci. She moved so far away, that family thing is in her past, a whole witch drama, she doesn't have to worry about it anymore. But because her story is so unusual, the daughter of a dead woman popped up after 18 years, claiming that her mother raised her and sent her here. Everybody in that family basically went around the entire town telling what happened. Well, the girl's story was actually pretty popular. Even if she was 1,500 kilometers away, odds are somebody heard that story. So she said one of the people who were living in the town where the family was, they came to the town that she settled in, and they started spreading rumors everywhere about that girl, about her mom. They turned that story every way but loose. They were accusing her of being a witch. So she even took the stories to one of those reality shows in Ghana, which is called, I'm sorry if I butchered it, Oyeripa. And according to her, when she went on that show, the people on the show made her to even feel even worse. Because the ones who was interviewing her during the show was like giving her this vibe, like she's a witch or she's a freak or something. Most people think that the daughter of the dead woman is weird, or they think that she behaves this certain way that's not normal. But yeah, if you guys were wondering, woman is still alive. She is currently married. She has a child, and she is now 29 years old. In case you were wondering how that one ended, because I really wanted to know. And thank you, Miss, for getting back to me on the rest of the story. If this is your first time seeing my face, make sure you follow me on